So today, I read The Lean Entrepreneur by Brant Cooper and Patrick Vlaskovitz, and there is no way I was going to memorize those names, so I had to look that up on my phone real quick. But anyway, into the video. So this book was based on two different books, kind of like a response to The Lean Startup, and also at the same time, the Lean Startup was referencing to the Toyota Way. So this was pulling from the Toyota Way as well as the Lean Startup. Now, this book talks about how a new startup, say like a software tech startup, will put out a new product, right? And they'll try and put in all these different features. They'll just have like a list of features and give it to their developers. And what the Toyota production system says is to actually create an MVP. So they say the minimum viable product, whatever you could sell that'll actually add value to the customers that someone's willing to pay for, get that out. They talk about how like Gmail and stuff are in beta for 5 years. It's basically beta, and then beta means finished nowadays because everything's constantly improving. Kaizen, another Toyota production system, TPS methodology. Now, what they do suggest is to get the MVP, and then as customers tell you what they need, the pull system from TPS, then you develop. And they say that a lot of developers will have like these little bugs and they'll be working on new features instead. So what they say is work on your list of little tiny things, your little bugs, your little things that are kind of like on backlog, rather than starting all these new projects. And this, of course, applies to other businesses too. They give a lot of examples with like pizza places and all different types of businesses in this book. But I think it definitely mainly relates to software, online, tech type businesses. So when people suggest those new features, that is when you build the features, when people ask for them. Another thing they talk about is that people don't know what they want. They know what their problem is, and it's your job to figure out from their problem what a solution would be. Don't ask them, what do you need? Ask them, what is your problem? And then from there, you figure out the solution. Talked a lot about sales funnels and basically all through the product itself. So it wasn't from a marketing standpoint, but it was very much about how to drive customers through your sales funnel by showing them what they want, when they want it. It talks about how your customer is a very specific subset at first, and you have to cater to them. The early adopter is who you're looking for. So when you first release a product, you'll get they kind of call it like the tinkerer. This actually had many parallels to The Tipping Point, which is a book I previously just read. But yeah, they have the tinkerer who will basically buy any new product, and it's just like whatever. They'll give you suggestions, but not based on things that you actually need to do. So they say ignore some people's suggestions, figure out who your target is, and then go with their suggestions. So that's your early adopters, the people who are actually first using your stuff, not just for fun, but because they actually like it. And you have to build around what they want rather than what everyone else wants. Living happiness. Okay, one more point that I wanted to add. What I really liked was they talked about something called the Wizard of Oz method of starting a business. And I think it's a really good idea. I've done it before. I never knew there was a name for it, so it's really cool to have like a thing to call it. I love that name. So what it is, to go back to the book Delivering Happiness, which I talked about earlier in a different video, when they first started, they did not have the partnerships or the inventory with any shoe companies. So what they did was they just posted a bunch of shoes online, and then once they sold, they would go to the shoe store, buy the shoes, ship them out to the customer, and I think they would lose a little bit of money or make no money, something like that. In this book, they talked about a car business where this guy would sell cars online, and then he would go buy them, and he would lose like $1,000 every time or something like that. But I thought that was really cool because that's like the leanest way to do it. It's you're doing it to prove the concept, so you don't want to like spend thousands of dollars or months writing all the code to make it work out perfectly. He says that people would order a car and he was thinking like, oh, how can I make like a drop down menu where you choose your make and then it goes to model and then year and then options. And then his partner was like, why would you do that? Just like have a blank field and they'll write it in. So that's like a really cool way to just like prove your concept before you waste too much time and energy on it.